Hello to all my friends and subscribers. So good to see you again. Today we're reading a story called Spinderella. It looks like a spider, but how do you know that it's not an insect? You count the legs. Spiders have 8 legs. Let's see. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Do you see that? Spinderella has got 8 legs. This story is written by Julia Donaldson, and the beautiful illustrations are by Sebastian Braun. Spinderella. The children of Scuttleton Primary School were eating their dinner. Fish fingers, potatoes and chips. And there are all the children. Can you see them sitting in the dining hall around the tables, eating their fish fingers, potatoes and chips? And peas. High up above them, the spiders of Scuttleton Primary School were eating their dinner. Flies, flies, flies. There are the spiders way up high, and can you see? They are eating flies. Yuck. How many flies have we got today, Mum? Asked Spinderella, the smallest spider. Lots, said Mum. Loads, said her brother and sisters. That's not a number, complained Spinderella. Never mind about numbers. Eat up your flies, said Mum. So Spinderella wants to know exactly how many flies there are for dinner, but the brothers and sisters are not interested in counting. Mum says just eat up your dinner. After dinner, the children went out to play football. The spiders swung down to watch. What a tackle, they cried. Yippee! The children scored goal after goal. Do you see them up there? The spiders are watching as the children play football, scoring goal after goal. How many goals is that, Mum? Asked Spinderella. Lots, said Mum. Loads, said her brothers and sisters. Spinderella sighed. What a family! How will I ever learn about numbers? Spinderella's getting quite annoyed, isn't she? When the children had gone home, Spinderella said, "Why don't we play football?" "Don't be silly," said her biggest brother, Speedy. There's Speedy there. "We haven't got a ball," said her second biggest brother, Scrabble. "I can see a pea on the floor," said Spinderella. "We can use that." That's a pretty good idea, don't you think? She suggested that they use that pea as a football. Mum chose Speedy and Scrabble as the captains of each team. Nearly all the spiders decided to join Speedy's team because he was the fastest runner. So what do you see there? There's one team with all these players, and on the other side you've got one team here with only 3 players. That's not very fairly spread out, is it? Speedy's team scored all the goals. "It's not fair," the spiders on Scrabble's team shouted. Here's the spiders on Scrabble's team, only 3 of them. And of course, on this side, Speedy's team, how many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 players. They are scoring all the goals. Before long, They were all quarrelling, moaning and kicking each other instead of the pea. Mum had to blow her whistle. There's Mum. She decided to blow the whistle to stop all the squabbling and quarrelling. How many spiders should we have in each team, Mum? Asked Spinderella. Lots, said Mum. Loads, said her brothers and sisters. I think both teams should have the same number, said Spinderella. But her brothers and sisters all turned on her. Down with numbers, they yelled. So they're not very fond of counting, are they? Yeah, they're all standing in a circle, and Spinderella's trying to explain that the teams should be equal. Each should have the same number of players. Next morning, Spinderella woke early. She felt sad. I wish I could learn about numbers, she sighed. And you will, said a loud voice. Spinderella spun around and saw an enormous hairy spider. Do you see that enormous hairy spider? A yellow spider with a great big smile on her face. Who are you? Asked Spinderella. I am your hairy godmother, said the enormous spider. Follow me. Spinderella scuttled after her out of the dinner hall, along a corridor, and into a classroom. So there they went, out of the dinner hall, along the corridor, and into a classroom. And up to the ceiling. Spinderella looked down and saw a teacher come into the classroom with a pile of football bibs. There's the teacher carrying a pile of football bibs. Keep your eyes and ears open, said Hairy Godmother, and in a flash she was gone. So Hairy Godmother has brought Spinderella into this classroom and has told her to keep her eyes and ears open. And she's gone. What do you think Spinderella's going to see and learn? Now, I want you to count yourselves, said the teacher. There should be 20 of you, but let's check. Then came the most wonderful sound. The children took turns to shout out a number from 1 to 20. Spinderella swung joyfully backwards and forwards in time to the counting. Let's see these children count. And they sang 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Do you see that? 20 children, and each one shouted out a number. They were counting themselves. The teacher gave out the football bibs. Put them on and find the others with the same color, he said. So can you see there are some red bibs and there are some blue bibs. And all the red team went to stand together, and all the children with the blue bibs are standing together. Soon there were 2 groups of children. How many in each team? Asked the teacher. The children counted again. 10 reds, said a girl in red. 10 blues, said a boy in blue. The same number, shouted Spinderella. She was so excited that she let go of her thread. There she is, letting go of her thread. Can you count all those players? In the red bibs, there are 10, and in the blue bibs, there are also 10. Should we count quickly? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So each team has got 10 players. Look, a spider! Squash it! Screamed someone. Spinderella froze in terror. Let's put it out of the window, said the teacher. And he did. So luckily they didn't squash Spinderella. The teacher put her out of the window. Suddenly, Spinderella was outside. I'm lost, she wailed. I'll never see my mum again. Here she is. There's Spinderella, up in the tree. She's worried she'll never see her mum again. But then she turned around and spotted 2 football goals. There they are. Do you remember they'd watched the children play football? She scuttled round the outside of the school, in through the open window of the dinner hall, and up to the web. Hello, Mum! I can count! And I can count up to 20, she said. Never mind about that. Eat your flies, said her mum. So her mum is still not interested in counting. I'm going to count them first, said Spinderella. And she did. I've got 14 flies, she told her brothers and sisters. So what? They said. Down with numbers, up with flies and footballs. So still nobody's interested in counting. Only Spinderella likes to count things. That night, the spiders decided to play football again. Mum, said Spinderella, I've been counting. There are 10 of us. So we need 5 spiders on each side. Some of the spiders muttered, down with numbers, but Mum shut them up. Spinderella sorted them into 2 teams of 5. Do you see that? There's 5 players here on this side, and over there, there's also 5 players. She was in Scrabble's team, and she also helped Mum to keep score. This time, no one quarrelled or kicked each other, and at half-time, each team had scored 3 goals. But still the spiders kept hurting their spindly legs, kicking the pea. I wish we had some football boots, sighed Spinderella. All right, so they are kicking that pea, that ball of theirs, with their bare feet. And Spinderella says she wishes they had football boots. And so you shall, came a voice. It was the Hairy Godmother again. How many boots do you each need? She asked. Lots, said Mum. Loads, said Spinderella's brothers and sisters. That's not good enough, said the Hairy Godmother. I need to have numbers. So here are the 10 spiders, and there's the Hairy Godmother, and she's wanting to know how many boots do they need. How many legs do you each have? 8, shouted Spinderella. We've each got 8 legs, so we each need 8 boots. Done, said the Hairy Godmother. There was a flash, and there on the floor were 10 piles of little boots. Each pile had 8 boots in it. The spiders put them on and laced them up. There, can you see the 10 piles of boots? And each pile has got 8 boots in it. 1 pile for each spider. 1 boot for each foot. Then they had a wonderful second half. They scored goal after goal. The Hairy Godmother clapped and clapped. With only a minute left to go, each team had scored 8 goals. It's going to be a draw, muttered Spinderella. But just then the ball came her way and she gave it an almighty kick. Do you see her there in the middle, giving that ball an almighty kick? And what's happening? It's going straight through the goals. Spinderella had scored the winning goal. All the spiders ran up to her. They picked her up, and all together they cheered. Up with Spinderella! Up with numbers! So now they're all happy. They've all learned about counting and about dividing things equally and keeping score. That was a great story. Learning how to count, thanks to Spinderella and her 8 legs and her 10 brothers and sisters. And of course all the spiders were eating flies. Wonderful. So good that you could join me. Remember to subscribe. Give me a thumbs up if you liked the story. And we will see you soon. Bye-bye, Serena. Bye-bye, Zoe. Mwah.